Drum nerds, drum nerdesses, happy new year. This is first of many. I'd like to say like, subscribe. We have, I touched the mic. We have made it to 1811. So I've scribbled into that 1800. Yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment, everything. Okay, I'm going to timestamp this so everybody, Sally Scrubs, can go ahead, scrub ahead. But here, right. I'd like to give some gratitude, actually. And for all those people responding, oh, I didn't come here for gratitude. Herberta. Well, deal with it, right? So, honestly, I never thought I'd have... granted, this is the year's... You could see on here, this is a year's screenshot. 318,000 people have watched, in some capacity, one or more or many of my videos. And I think that's just blown my mind. I'm genuinely beyond grateful and thankful for that. So to everybody who has participated, all 318,000 of your views, of your eyes, of you individually, granted that might be probably my mom watching 318,000 times. But in any event, thank you so much. Honest to God, really does mean a lot there. I'll get to the video now, but what I would say is there was a lot of, I take all the comments, I read all the comments, so that's why the mic's a bit closer, a bit louder. I've hopefully turned that down. I'm looking into getting, again, when I get my next YouTube paycheck, I'm going to get a new camera with the light so that this quality gets better. And to everybody with that yesterday's video about this certain historical trajectory of things, I had a lot of people agree. I had a lot of people agree but not like that it was in this video or the previous video. I had a lot of people healthily discussing, and that's the main point of everything, right? There was a couple people who were being rude, but they probably live... I'm not even going to use a pejorative. I'm just not. I'm not going to rise to it. So I've got my coffee in my Tim Hortons cup. And if I do set up a second channel where I talk about all things news, I'll definitely let you all be the first to know. But what we can all agree on is it's a new year. I want to know what you've set up goal-wise. Because if you've started this year without any goals, I don't know if that lady came through to you there, but better get on to this now. But yes, let me know what your goals of the new year are. You need to have the new year goals. I want to hear everybody doing really well and crushing it. So, Kai Hei Ho. Hope I said that right. Hato. Just calm down a bit, please, right? Not from that country. Tribal. I have done this before, but never with audio mixed, drum only cameras. Now already you can hear how tribal that does sound. He's taken the whole kind of Marco Miniman to a whole different level. He's got a bass drum on the side, left and on the right. And also to the guy that was saying like, you talking over this makes it hard to pay attention and you pausing the video makes it hard to pay attention. Well, it sounds like you just want to watch the original video, which I include at the bottom. Ah, see. Now that in itself, was that? That was his right hand. That right hand ostinato kind of pattern. Again, when you're rolling a certain note value on your feet and then you're holding steady on a certain note value on your hand and then that other hand is doing something entirely different. It's incredible. We expect this from Kai. And I'm pretty sure he's stepping a tambourine of some sorts. It's so clinically methodical with Kai. It's beautiful that he's able to enjoy himself, but you know in his head it's rolling and rolling and rolling. Ooh, that beautiful bass drum flutter. Ah, and some cymbal chokes. Isn't that beautiful when you get that? See, I did that once on a song, and it was one of my favorite moments. And I can see why, why it would have been. But when you're breaking a cymbal groove between two cymbals that sound so different from themselves, it's so fantastic to hear half of that beat being played on those sloshy open hats, and then the other half on the china. You could get very different sounds, but I was going to say you couldn't get much more different sounds, but it's just beautiful how... Oh! Again, always getting those feet into that fill. The only thing that I'm going to point out here, and again, we need to remember where we are here, drum nerd. Look straight through that way, straight through under it's directly under his elbow. You've got that L bracket, but the L bracket is actually the mount, if you see my point. It's not an L bracket on a ball joint. It's a pipe coming up and going in. The reason why I don't like those, and this is totally irrelevant, it's not, well, it comes and goes, but because it has to have a hole drilled into that tom, usually, to allow that to have the most amount of mobility in terms of placement. So you've sacrificed some of the resonance of that shell to accommodate that L, essentially, going in when you mount it. Now, a lot of the times, yes, granted, you can have it so that it's a shallow part of that L bracket, and you don't have to drill the shell, and it just will, you can then adjust only into that receiving port, but that limits you by a lot. It limits what you can actually adjust, right? Because you've obviously only made a smaller corridor, if you see my point, into that bracket. So what you would find is that their workaround is they drill the hole through the shell, and that allows you to have more scope with movability and placement. But again, as I said, that reduces the resonance of the shell slightly, and you're very stuck in a very stiff kind of straight, over, down, nothing. Whereas an L ball bracket has a lot more fluidity. It's more like a shoulder joint, right? So for those two reasons, that's why I'm not a fan. Now we know. But things to bear in mind, if you're buying a kit, things to bear in mind how you want it to lay out and what hardware you want involved. See? And see that, because that's on such a big bass drum, one wouldn't be enough. That I was just about to say that would fall apart. Oh, I don't want to miss his playing. But that would fall down, so they've had to do that twice. Twofold. Oh, that rolling set of doubles. Yes. Now we've got those accent cymbals that are going to come in, hopefully. Paint over the top of things. Absolutely not. Wasn't expecting that. Who right now in the comments, who is thinking Neil Peart? That's gorgeous. I want to hear that again because I want to hear what I'm taking as a bit of a homage to Neil Peart. Correct me if I am wrong, and I trust me, I know you will, but that's where my head went. Oh, just beautiful. And that is a much stronger backbeat now than at the previous bits of the song. If you go back, you'll hear it. And that is a quick release hi-hat clutch. If I'm not mistaken, let's have a look. Didn't notice that. There. I hope my box is just... I hope I haven't positioned it incorrectly. If I have, apologies. But it might be... I can't see the bit to hit it. So if it was a quick release hat, if it was a quick release hi-hat clutch, what that is it has a little, I didn't see it, but that red bit at the bottom looked a bit, suggestive of it. But basically what that is there's a little, like a little lever on the side, but it bites underneath the clutch on the top, which is when it's engaged. And then you can quick release, slap it with your stick. It'll push that clamp away and it'll deactivate the clutch, right? It'll clip it back. And so then that cymbal will fall. To my knowledge, it's spring-loaded, so the next time you want to use it, if I'm not mistaken, you just step your foot down to kind of come down, and I think it pushes it underneath itself, if you know what I mean, when you bite the hats. Hard to explain, but point is, useful bit of kit for this kind of drummer specifically. Although I would suggest if he's got auxiliary hats, which he does, he might not necessarily need a quick release. Let's just enjoy this. See that, now you need to stop and take a minute now. Now we've just heard something fundamentally amazing. He was stepping the hats while doing rolling pedals. I've heard that done a few times. I had a tutor at school, at uni. Pete something or other. Bad, I've forgotten. But he could do that, and Marco Miniman does that, and Thomas Lang does that. But what you're doing is you're moving your foot on and off that pedal, because that's an active hat, right? So that's not connected to anything. That is its own independent hat. So he is activating that hat with his left foot. So he is essentially, if you look down at your floor and move your foot, move your left foot to the left, then back to the right, then to the left, then back to the right, and then move your right foot up and down in the space between those moves. What he's doing is rolling those doubles, and every time that left foot is not needed for a double, in the space, he is stepping that hat. And he's playing a groove on top of it. That is, let's just pay attention to that. And he subdivided himself coming down. Oh, God, that was a beautiful subdivision at the end. See, notice how I've also waited until the very end. I've been getting slated because I cut off 5 seconds of the previous video. My apologies. There we go. Happy New Year. I'm going to send this because it's 12 minutes now. 13, really. So, that was wonderful. That was beautiful. It was a great way to... Oh, my God, stop. What happened? Oh, it couldn't play it anyways. Whoa. Just getting attacked by a drum there. Right. That's it. That's all. If you know, you know. What a great way to start the new year. Again, let me know what your New Year's resolutions or goals or desires are, and let's hold each other accountable, right? And tell your buddies if you don't want to tell me in the world. But do something to challenge yourself and better yourself, okay? Stay safe, be well, keep your stick on the ice.